Hello, this is Troy ASMR, and this is kind of a different thing. I have collaborated with GPT Chat and created a kind of detective story. It's kind of weird, relaxing, fun. Yeah. And I will read it. I don't know if I read all of it right now, but maybe I will. I will pronounce things wrong sometimes. That's just because I'm not native speaking English, speaking native. But that's okay. I hope. So I will read a story. Detective story. It's cute. So I hope you like it. I hope you like it. I hope you like it. It's really nonsensical. Okay. Once upon a time in a magic city where dreams was an integral part of daily life, a detective was on a mission to solve a case about a lost little dream. He was known as the best detective in the city, with a keen eye for details and a gentle touch when questioning suspects. Okay. The detective walked down the cobblestone streets, taking the sights and sounds of the bustling city. He came across a group of adorable bunnies who were busily gathering flowers for the day's dream deliveries. The detective approached them with a soft smile and asked if they have seen or heard anything about the lost dreams. The bunnies twitched their noses in unison and replied in sweet, high-pitched voice, We're sorry, sir. We haven't seen or heard anything out of the ordinary. The detective asked the bunnies. No, the detective thanked the bunnies and continued his investigation, walking through the city's parks and gardens. He came across a little house with a warm glow coming from the windows. He approached the door and knocked softly, and a friendly little squirrel answered. Good day, sir, the squirrel said. What brings you here? The detective explained the case of missing dream, and the squirrel nodded sympathetically. Sympathetically. I'm afraid I haven't heard or seen anything, but my friend All might have some information. He has a keen eye and ear for all things dream related. The detective followed the squirrel's direction to the nearby forest, where he found a wise old owl perched on a branch. The owl listened attentively as the detective explained the case, then hooted softly. Yes, I have heard whispers of a missing dream, the owl said. It's mostly important dreams, for it's the dream of a young girl who has been feeling sad and lost lately. The detective's heart ached. The detective's heart ached at the thought of the young girl feeling such a way, and he promised the owl that he would do everything in his power to find the lost dream and return it to its rightful owner. And so talking to creatures and peoples along the way, determined to find the missing dream and bring a smile back to the face of the young girl who had lost it. The story didn't end here. The detective's journey to find the lost dream continued, and who knows what adventure and obstacles he will face along the way. The city awaits, filled with magical creatures and people, all eager to help Detective solve the case of the missing dream. It is really short chapters. But that was chapter 1. I will keep reading, so don't worry. We will find out sooner or later. Okay, chapter 2. The search continues. The detective continued his search for the lost dream, walking through the city streets and the alleyways, talking to anyone who might have information. He came across a group of friendly pigeons who cooed and fluttered their wings in excitement at the sight of him. "Good day, sir," one of the pigeons said. "We have heard you're looking for the lost dream. We might have seen something that could help." The detective's heart lifted with hope, and he listened attentively as the pigeons told him their story. "We were flying over the city earlier today, and we saw a shadow. We saw a shadowy figure sneaking into the old abandoned toy factory. We couldn't make out who it was, but we have a feeling that they might be connected to the missing dream." The detective thanked the pigeons for their help and made his way to the old toy factory. As he approached the entrance, he felt a sense of unease. The factory was dark and quiet, and he couldn't help but think that something wasn't quite right. He pushed open the door and stepped inside. His senses was on high alert. The air was musty and the factory was filled with sounds of creaking floorboards, the rustling of rats in the shadows. He could feel a strange energy in the air, and he knew that he was getting close to finding the missing dream. As he made his way deeper into the factory, he came across a room filled with strange and wondrous machines. In the center of the room was a large glass tube, and inside was a beautiful, glowing dream. The detective's heart raced with excitement, and he approached the tube, reaching out to touch it. Suddenly, he heard a voice behind him. Don't even think about it, detective." The detective spun around to see a figure standing in the shadow, their face hidden by a hood. The figure stepped forward, and the detective could see that it was a woman with piercing green eyes. "Who are you?" the detective asked, his voice firm. The woman didn't answer, but instead reached for the glass tube, taking the lost dream in her hands. The detective stepped forward, blocking her path. "I can't let you take that dream," he said. "It is important to someone, and I'm here to bring it back." The woman smirked and replied, "I know exactly who it's important to, and I'm not letting it go Okay. That was chapter 2. Now, chapter 3. The mysterious woman. The detective was left standing alone in the room, staring in disbelief as the woman disappeared in a puff of smoke. Taking a lost dream with her, he felt a sense of frustration and anger, knowing that he was so close to find the missing dream, only to have it taken away in an instant. He took a deep breath and tried to calm himself, thinking about what his next move should be. He realized that he had no idea who the woman was or why she had taken the dream, and he knew that he needed to find out more about her. He made his way back to the city, talking to anyone who might have seen or heard anything about the mysterious woman. He spoke to the pigeons, the street vendors, and even the city's mayor, but no one had any information. One day, as he was walking through the park, he heard a soft voice calling him. He turned to see an old woman. Sitting on a bench, her eyes closed and her hands clasped together in her lap. He approached her, and she opened her eyes, looking at him. "You are the detective, aren't you?" she said, her voice soft and gentle. "I've been waiting for you. I have something important to tell you." The detective listened as the old woman told him her story. "I have been around for a long time, and I've seen many things in this city. I've seen the woman you're looking for. She's known as the Dream Thief, and she steals dreams and keeps them for herself. It is said that she has the power to control people's thoughts and emotions through their dreams." The detective felt a chill running down his spine as he realized the enormity of what he was up against. He thanked the old woman for help and made his way back to his office, determined to find a way to stop the Dream Thief, bring him back the lost dreams. Detective felt chill running down his spine as he realized lost dreams. Okay. And so the detective's search continued as he worked tirelessly to track down the Dream Thief and retrieving the missing dream. The city was full of mystery and magic, and the detective knew that he was just scratching on the surface of what lay beneath. And as he walked through the streets, he couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder at the wonderful world around him, filled with dreams and possibilities, just waiting to be discovered. Chapter 4. The Dream World. One night, as the detective laid in bed, he suddenly found himself transported into a strange and wonderful world. He was surrounded by soft clouds and warm, cozy feeling. And he knew that he was inside a dream. As he looked around, he saw that he was in a city just like his own, but everything was brighter, more vivid and alive. The buildings were tall, and the streets were filled with strange creatures and talking animals. The detective smiled, felt a sense of joy and excitement as he realized that he was inside the dream world, a place where anything was possible. He began to explore, talking to the people and the creatures he met, learning more about this strange and wonderful place. As he walked, he suddenly heard a voice calling behind him. He turned to see the dream thief, her eyes glowing mischievous in the light. "Welcome to my dream, detective," she said, her voice playful and inviting. "I've been waiting for you." The detective felt a sense of unease as he realized that he was face to face with the dream thief. But he was also curious about why she had brought him here. He asked her about the lost dream, and she laughed, her eyes sparkling with amusement. "Oh, the lost dream," she said. "That was just a little game I was playing. I want to see if you were worthy of entering the dream well. And now that you are here, I have a proposition for you. If you can find the missing dream and bring it back to me, I give it back to its rightful owner." The detective felt a sense of determination. As he realized that he was finally one step closer to find the missing dream, he set off into the dream world, searching high and low for any clue as to where the dream might be. And so the detective's journey continued as he explored the dream world and searched for the missing dream. The city was full of mystery and magic, and he couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder at the wonderful world around him. As he walked, he knew that he was one step closer to bringing the dream back to its rightful owner. Chapter 5. The Rooster's Call. Just as the detective was getting closer to find the missing dream, he suddenly heard a loud crowing sound. He opened his eyes to see a tiny, cute rooster standing at the foot of his bed. The rooster looked up at him with curious eyes, as if it was waiting for a response. The detective rubbed his eyes, sat up, realizing that he was back in his own world. He sighed, feeling a sense of disappointment as he realized that his journey had come to an end. But then he noticed that the rooster was still there, crowing softly, looking up at him with adorable eyes. The detective smiled, realizing that the rooster was just doing what came naturally to it. The detective smiled, realizing that the rooster was just doing what came naturally to it. He reached down and picked up the rooster, cradling it in his arms. The rooster looked up at him with contented eyes, as if it was happy to be held. The detective stroked the rooster's feathers, feeling a sense of relaxation and comfort. He closed his eyes and let himself sink into the moment, feeling the warm sun on his face and the soft feathers of the rooster against his skin. And as he lay there, he couldn't help but think about the dream world and the missing dream. He knew he would continue his search, but for now he was happy to just relax, and enjoy the moment with a cute, tiny rooster in his arms. The detective fell asleep, feeling safe and warm, surrounded by the soft, comfortable feathers of the rooster. And as he slept, he dreamt of the dream world and the journey that was to come, knowing that he would never give up until the missing dream. Until he found the missing dream and brought it back to its rightful owner. Chapter 6. The Rooster's Message. The detective woke up again. The detective woke up again to the sound of the rooster crowing. But this time it was different. The rooster was not just crowing for the sake of it, but it was trying to convey an important message to the detective. The detective listened closely as the rooster spoke in a soft, high-pitched voice. "Detective, I have some important information to you," the rooster said. "I've seen the missing dream and I know where it is." The detective was overjoyed to hear this news. He quickly got out of bed and sat down, looking at the rooster intently. "Where is the missing dream?" he asked, with his voice eager. "It is in the hand of the dream thief," the rooster said. "But she has hidden it in the dream world. You must find it quickly, or it will be lost forever." "But you have hidden it in the dream world. You must find it quickly, and it will be lost forever." The detective nodded, feeling a sense of determination. He thanked the rooster and set off, ready to continue his journey in the dream world. As he walked, he felt a sense of excitement and wonder. He knew that the missing dream was close, and he was determined to find it and bring it back to its rightful owner. Is not that logic? Just go with it. Short chapters. Chapter 7. The Rooster's Sidekick. The detective continued his journey into the dream world, determined to find the missing dream and bring it back to its rightful owner. He encountered strange creatures and magical places, and he talked to the people and animals he met on the way. But he was not alone. The tiny rooster had followed him, and it was determined to be his sidekick, not to be by his side. The rooster ran after the detective, its little leg moving quickly to keep up. "Detective, wait!" the rooster cried. "I want to be your sidekick." The detective smiled, realizing that the rooster was eager to help. He picked up the rooster and placed it on his shoulder, where it sat comfortably, looking at the world with bright, curious eyes. Together, the detective and rooster journey through the dream world, exploring new places and encountering strange creatures. The rooster proved to be a valuable asset, helping the detective decipher clues and solve puzzles. As they journeyed on, the detective couldn't help but feel warm, but feel a sense of warmth and comfort, knowing that he had a loyal sidekick by his side. The rooster was always there to offer encouragement and support, and the detective knew that he could always count on the rooster to be by his side, no matter what challenge laid ahead. Together, the detective and rooster continued their journey, determined to find the missing dream and bring it back to its rightful owner. They knew that they were on one step closer to the goal, and they were eager to continue their journey, exploring the worlds of the dream world and exploring the wonders of the dream world and searching for the missing dream. Chapter 7.5. The search for a name. As the detective and Rooster continued the journey through the dream world, they found themselves struggling with one big problem. They couldn't come up with a name for the rooster. The rooster had been so eager to be the detective's sidekick, but it seems that he had forgotten the most important part of being a sidekick: having a great name. The detective and Rooster tried everything they could think of, but nothing seemed to fit. They tried names like Lucky, Brave, and even Dreamer, but nothing seemed to stick. One day, as they were resting by a babbling brook, the detective had an idea. Let's ask the people and the creature we meet along the way for suggestions. He said, someone might have the perfect name for you. And so the detective and the rooster start asking everyone they met for a name suggestion. They ask a wise old owl, a friendly butterfly, even a group of mischievous fairies. But nothing seemed to fit. Just when they were about to give up, they met a wise old cat who had been living in the dream world for many years. I have the perfect name, Rooster, the cat said with a twinkle in her eyes. The detective and Rooster leaned in, eager to hear the cat's suggestion. Your name should be Sparkle, the cat said with a smile. The detective and Rooster looked at each other, their eyes lit up. Sparkle was the perfect name for the little rooster. It was a name that reflected his brightness, cheerful personality, and his love for adventure. And so from that day on, the little rooster was known as Sparkle, the detective's truly trustworthy sidekick. And as they continued the journey through the dream world, they knew that they were unstoppable, with Sparkle by their side. Okay, chapter 8, closing in on the dream. The detective and Sparkle continued their journey through the dream world. Following the trails of the missing dream, they encountered many obstacles and challenges along the way, but they remained determined to find the missing dream and bring it back to its rightful owner. As they journeyed on, they started to notice that the trail was getting stronger. They could sense that they were getting closer and closer to the missing dream. One day they stumbled upon a hidden clearing in the heart of the dream world. In the center of the clearing was a beautiful tree, surrounded by a bed of soft, warm grass. The detective and Sparkle approached the tree cautiously, wondering if this was finally where they would find the missing dream. As they drew closer, they noticed that there was a beautiful shimmering light emanating from within the tree. As they drew closer, they noticed that there was a beautiful shimmering light emanating from within the tree. The detective reached out and touched the light, and he did, and as he did, he felt a rush of energy coursing through his body. He realized that the missing dream was inside the tree, and it was calling out to him. With a determined look in his eye, the detective climbed the tree, his heart pounding with excitement. Sparkle folded close behind, determined to help the detective find the missing dream. Together, the detective and Sparkle climb higher and higher, the shimmering light glowing brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And finally, with a burst of light, they emerged into a beautiful chamber filled with the missing dream. The detective smiled, realizing that they had finally found what they were looking for. The missing dream was finally back in their possession, and they were one step closer to bring it back to its rightful owner. Chapter 8 and a half. The story of the dream thief. She always remembered the first time she stole a dream. It was a simple dream filled with the warmth of the sun and the sound of the ocean waves. She had never felt anything like it before, and it had stayed with her, even after she woke up. At first, she had only stolen dreams to experience their beauty and wonder. But soon she found that the dreams gave her a sense of power and control that she had never felt before. She started to steal more and more dreams, each one more beautiful and wondrous than the last. But with each dream she stole, she felt a growing sense of emptiness. No matter how many dreams she had, she could never seem to find the happiness that she was searching for. One day she came across a dream that was different from all the dreams. It was a dream filled with love and joy, and it filled her heart in a way that no other dream have ever done. From that day on, she made it her mission to collect only the most beautiful and wonderful dreams, so that she could feel their love and happiness whenever she needed it. But as she continued to steal dreams, she started to realize that her actions was causing harm to others. She saw the pain and heartache that her theft was causing, and she knew that she had to make things right. So she set out on a journey to find the missing dream, determined to write it to the rightful owner and make amends for all the dreams she had taken. And as she was walking through the dream world, she knew that she was finally on the path to find the happiness and fulfillment she had always been searching for. Chapter 9. The Dream Thief Realization. As she walked through the dream world, she suddenly felt the discomfortable, and as she walked through the dream world, she suddenly felt a disturbance in the air. She stopped in her tracks, wondering what could be causing it. And then she heard it. The sound of someone climbing the tree that held the missing dream. Her heart sank as she realized that someone else had found the dream she had been searching for. She quickly made her way to the tree, her heart racing with fear and excitement. As she arrived at the clearing, she saw the detective and Sparkle emerging from the tree, holding the missing dream in their hands. She was filled with mixed emotions as she watched them. She felt a sense of relief that the missing dream has finally been found. But at the same time, she was filled with a sense of regret for all the dreams she has taken. She approached the detective and sparkled, ready to turn herself in and face the consequences of her actions. But as she drew closer, she saw the look of kindness and compassion in their eyes, and she knew that she was not alone. She told them the story, explaining why she started to steal dreams and how she had come to realize the harm she was causing. And as she spoke, she felt a weight lift from her heart, as she knew that she was finally on the path to make things right. Together, the detective, Sparkle, and the dream thief continued the journey, determined to bring the missing dream back to its rightful owner. And as they walked, she felt a sense of peace and happiness that she had never felt before, knowing that she was on the path to finding the true happiness and fulfillment. Epilogue: bringing the dream home. The journey was long, but the detective, Sparkle, and the dream thief had finally arrived at their destination. They stood in front of the home of the dream's rightful owner, a little girl named Emily. A little girl named Emily. As they approached her door, they could hear her cries of sadness and longing for her missing dream. The dream thief felt a pang of guilt in her heart, knowing that she was responsible for Emily's tears. But as they entered the room and placed the dream back in its rightful place, the tears turned to laughter and joy. The dream expanded, filling the room with light and happiness. Emily hugged the detective, Sparkle, and dream thief, thanking them for their help. As they all sat down together, Sparkles jumped up and down with excitement, unable to contain its happiness. And as they all laughed and shared stories, the dream thief realized that she had finally found what she had been searching for all along, a sense of belonging and a true sense of joy. The detective, Sparkle, and the dream thief left Emily's home, filled with a sense of peace and happiness that they would carry with them always. And as they walked away, they knew that they would never forget this incredible journey, and that they would always treasure the memories of a wonderful dream that they have helped bringing home. That was the ending of this nonsensical dream detective story. I asked GPT Chat to make a poem about this too. So I will read that and then good night. Good night. Okay. A dream lost and found. In a world of dreams and fantasy, where creatures and people roam free, a little dream went missing, you see. And so the detective was called to be. With a soft voice and a gentle heart, he set out to find the missing part. Along the way, he met a rooster. Sparkle was its name. No need to boost. Met the rooster. Sparkle was its name. No need to boost her. Together they searched high and low through the dream, to the dreams that made their hearts aglow. And finally they found what they sought. The missing dream that was oh so sought. But the dream was guarded by a thief who took it for a sense of belief. But as she spoke, she came to know the harm she caused and the love that did grow. And so they returned the dream to its home, where laughter and joy were free to roam. And the detective Sparkles and the thief walked away with a sense of belief that dreams are meant to be shared and bright, and that with love everything can be right. And so they lived in peace and bliss, with memory of this wonderful miss. You are the best, remember that. If you're going to sleep, sleep well. If you're not going to sleep, have a great day.